It's the King J, here with another video. Today I want to talk about the Tekken 8 roster. So now, the roster has now been finalized. We have 32 characters. Reina was the last character and that was such a great trailer. We spoke about her in our reaction video, which is now on 26,000 views. I don't know how much it's going to be by the end of the month, but that's amazing. Thank you very much for everyone that's supporting. That is 26,000 viewers, but not everyone is subscribed and it's free. So if you look at subscribe, that would be great. We've just hit 70,000. Amazing. We need 30,000 more to get to 100,000. So we're really trying to push and we need your help, though. I'd appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying?
We're getting on to the roster. Now, with the roster, it's quite interesting because if I show you right here what the roster is saying, we see a bunch of characters. Now, for me personally, looking at the roster, I'm like, yeah, it could have dealt with some, some other characters, like seeing Jack being like the only big character, big command grab style character was kind of annoying because I like Marduk as well. I think Marduk should have been like base roster. Something tells me he'll be DLC. Something really tells me he'll be DLC. He's such a strong favorite in Tekken 8 in terms of like characters that will be coming back. Like you can't have a Tekken without Marduk. Marduk is like just that guy. So we're gonna see Marduk, but there's other characters missing from this roster. Like where's Bob? Where's Ganryu? Where's my characters that I usually like? We got Bob, Ganryu. Where is, I don't know, let's say characters that I don't usually play. Where's Wang? Where's Kunimitsu? Where are these characters? We know that Kazumi's not coming back, but like, there's so many characters missing from the roster. Katarina. There's a lot of Tekken 7 characters that don't seem to be in this. We have Gigas, Katarina. We don't think Kazumi's come back. Gigas is gone. Yeah, Shaheen is back though, so that's pretty cool. But then you have, again, more characters that are missing. Like, Bob and Ganryu should be in the game. I don't know why Bob and Ganryu are not in the game. Like, what is going on? But Bruce Irvin, where are you? Like, what is going on? Like, why is it that Bruce is not in the game? Like, there's no Muay Thai fighters. There's no Bruce. There's no Josie. There's no Fakuram. Lydia, what is going on? Like, they created these really good character models. Like Fakuram, Leroy, and Lydia, they're very good models. Despite what you think about them in terms of their release and them being busted, like they're very good models. And it seems like to me that Lydia is not going to be back in the game. It seems like Fakuram might not be back in the game. Josie probably will be, and there's not going to be Bruce, and it kind of annoys me. It then brings me on to my question: do I think this is a 10 out of 10 roster? No. This roster's pretty good, but there's characters that I probably would have left for DLC. I think Shaheen would have been a good character to leave as DLC because I don't feel like he was that great. I don't feel like a lot of people played him. Panda and Kuma having their separate slots is pretty funny again, but they do have separate moves, right? You know that Kuma has Heihachi's 1+2. We assume that Panda's got Ling's down back 1, which is the palm, so that's pretty cool. Zafina would have been DLC for me again. I don't think Zafina being like starting roster was great, but we have her there. And then these other characters like Dragunov is cool, but wasn't really that popular in Tekken 7 because he wasn't that good. Yeah, there's just a bunch of characters that are missing from this roster. So I would say this roster out of all the other rosters, like we have Tekken 5. Tekken 5 roster was the best roster for me. Like out of all the Tekkens, Tekken 5 and Tekken 6 had everything there. It had all the characters. You had Mokujin. Mokujin is such a classic Tekken character for me. Like, when I think about Tekken, I think about when I first started playing the game. And when I first started playing Tekken, I was thinking about stuff like, oh, you can fight against a bear. You can fight against, like, a kangaroo and a reptile, Alex, And then in Tekken 5, they introduced, Tekken 3 and Tekken 5, they introduced Mokujin, where Mokujin could kind of switch around moves every round. And that was interesting to me because I'm like, oh, damn, he's switching around. Like, you could actually become a high rank with this character that's constantly switching moves. Like, it was just unique in the fighting game. And now that all these stuff are gone, like, Mokujin, Tetsujin, and Kinjin are skin, it's like, I really feel like Tekken is losing what it really stood for and what made people so excited for it. We've got 3 new characters. We've got one that is basically a stance character. She likes to dance. She's basically a replacement of Lucky Chloe. So I'll say Lucky Chloe 2.0 is as the center. Then you have a character that comes from Soul Calibur. He doesn't come from Soul Calibur, but like all the stuff that this character represents is basically a Soul Calibur character. Is Victor. I feel like Victor will lead people into like, play the game if you're a Soul Calibur fan. He's got all the tools. Kind of feels like, just a base of like Taki, Mitsurugi, Nightmare all in one when it comes to Tekken 8. And then you have Raider that has a Taudo stance, which is very, very new. I've never heard of Taudo stance a day in my life. This was the first time I've heard of it, and it's interesting again because it kind of opens up the fighting martial arts culture that there's different styles that we might not have heard of, and she's championed that stance in Tekken 8. So these are the 3 new characters. They're quite interesting. They're very unique. But again, I would have loved to see more returning characters that we do know about, especially for the OGs. Like, yeah, Mokujin would have been a great addition to the game. Just switching around different moves and stuff. You know, with Mokujin, like sometimes his jab is a bit more faster than the average character as well. So like, I can't remember who it was. I think with Tetsujin, his jab was faster than the actual original character. So I don't know if Jack's jab was 12 and his jab was 10 or something along them lines. I would have to search the lore again because I wasn't a Mokujin main, but it was on conversation. But then, yeah, like there's characters here again with solid fighting styles, right? So I spoke about like the characters that I think should be in Bruce and all that stuff. Boy Tai's not in it, but we also don't have Eddie. Eddie's not in the game. Like Capoeira was a big thing in Tekken. Like we had Christy in Tekken 4, Tekken 6, Eddie was there, Tekken 7, Eddie's there again, but no Capoeira in Tekken 8 is pretty interesting to me. It then leads me on to my next question. Do you, watching this at home, do you think this is a great roster? Like, do you feel like your main character is in here? You know, the Miguels, Eddie, Anna, Roger, Bob, Jinpachi, Kazumi, you know, Ganryu, Armor King, Marduk, Lydia, Fakaram. Like, there is so many characters missing. Like, it's absolutely insane. There's so many characters. Like, do you think these characters are coming back? Like, I don't know why Lydia is not a starting roster in this game. I really feel like they dropped the ball with that character because they gave her such a sick trailer. Her trailer was absolutely amazing when she first debuted in Tekken 7. And just to not be in the game just doesn't make any sense. It's like, why do you bring Fakaram, Leroy, and Lydia to the mix if they wasn't like, you know, gonna be heavily involved in Tekken 8 or starting roster? Was this just like a project to see how people like the character, or was this just like, you know, you wanted to bring extra characters in late in the game? Because sometimes in fighting games they bring characters that are new late into the game, but to bring 3 extra characters in the game so late, season 3, season 4, and not use them for Tekken 8, I don't know how I feel towards that. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, this is the roster. There's a variation of like rushdown characters here. You've got King, that's a command grab character. Leroy's gonna be probably more on the defensive / rushdown kind of side. I don't know how great his rushdown's gonna be. That's my main character, but I don't know how great his rushdown's gonna be. Brian's in the game, but his taunt has changed. You know, his taunt doesn't do as much damage if it hits. It's got scaling now. Claudio is going to be very rushed down. Azucena's going to be, I'd say, mix-ups. Raven be mix-ups. Feng, rush down. Yoshimitsu mix-ups. Steve, I don't know. I haven't seen the trailer. But yeah, this is the roster for Tekken 8. Devil Jin seems to play a main part in the game. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. They are dropping trailers for this. So if you are watching this and you ain't subscribed, make sure you're not subscribed to the channel because I will be doing reactions to these trailers. And I've got a prediction that I would like to say on this video. Prediction that I would like to say is that I believe, I've got 2 predictions actually. Number 1, when it comes to the character reveal trailers, I think we're gonna have Yoshimitsu first, Steve second, Dragunov third, Leo fourth, Kuma fifth, Shaheen. So it's gonna go along, right? So it's gonna go along. I think Devil Jin is gonna be last because Devil Jin is gonna probably have interactions with characters and say things that are heavily based on the story. So it doesn't make sense to mix Devil Jin in with the mix. I feel like it'll be Yoshimitsu, Steve, in this order: Yoshimitsu, Steve, Dragunov, Leo, Kuma. Then it will be Shaheen, Panda, Zafina, Lee, Lissa, and then Devil Jin. I think it's going to be like that. So I could potentially be wrong, but that's how I feel like it's going to go. And then prediction number 2 is who I think will be DLC. Now DLC is 4 characters and it's in every season. So spring, autumn, winter, summer. My predictions is Eddie. I'm gonna have 5 just to play it safe because I don't know. Eddie, it definitely has to be in the first season. I can't imagine him being that far away. So it'll be Eddie or Christy, 1, right? Bob, 2, Miguel, 3, Anna, 4, and I think Marduk will be 5th. So it's out of those 5 that will be a part of the DLC, in my opinion. Those 5, DLC 1. I think it's kind of annoying that we have to wait a whole year though to see these characters, because then there's a bunch of other characters that are not in that you would like to see. So I guess we're gonna have to enjoy the game for what it is for now. But yeah, Anna definitely seems like she's gonna be coming in. It doesn't make sense that Anna's not in the game with Nina, to be fair. And it also doesn't make sense that Miguel, I don't know why Miguel's not starting roster. Like, if Miguel's DLC, you have to pay for Miguel. You have to pay for Eddie? Really? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's just, I don't understand the thought process. Anna is obviously DLC for Tekken 7, but I just didn't really think that should be DLC for Tekken 8. And Eddie as well, I don't know where that is. I hope Eddie gets a rework if he is DLC in the game. Miguel is strange to me because I feel like Miguel's always been starting roster to the game, but he's not really had much relevance in the Tekken story anyways, because most of his anger is because of, you know, his sister got blown up by accident by Jin's explosions, and he's been chasing Jin ever since. But that rivalry's grown dead. He's caught Jin in the alternative endings and not done anything. It's just like, okay, so what are you gonna do then? You want him to live on, and then what? You gotta fight him again? And it's just such a strange ending. If someone killed like someone in my family, bro, and I caught you, yeah, it's hands on. It's hands on sight. Like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna leave you to live. It's like, eh? So I don't know. It's a very weird kind of like storyline. I don't know, to be fair. If that's DLC, we don't have Lydia, and we don't have Fakram, I'd be upset. No, not even Fakram, Bruce. Why is Bruce not in the game? Bandai Namco, you have everyone asking on Twitter about Bruce. Why is he not in the game? It makes no sense. Like, it really doesn't. Everyone's asking for him at this point. Just put him in. Like, I think they're gonna drag it out until season 3. Like, they're really gonna just drag it out until season 3. We're gonna see Bruce. Bruce is gonna be in some different type of costume, but it's too late by that time. We need him in season 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to win and play with that character. And Lei, where's Lei? Oh, where is Lei? Like, I get it that you want to make this game easier, because obviously when you go into rage with these characters, right? Like, when you go into rage with Kazuya or Jin, no, not with Kazuya. When you go into rage with Kazuya, like, you get easy electrics, which is fine. You're trying to help newcomers, and a bunch of other things that you've got with this game. You have a lot of things where you're allowing people to